I'm Ann Coffey, for those of you that I haven't had a chance to spend any time with. And I've been the CEO of CNPE since September of 2019. I'm not going to include the interim portion of that, but thrilled to be here. And I just wanted to open by saying that this is really a big deal. And this team, in particular, Darlene Whitney, has worked over a year and a half on this process. And we have a really big vision for this. It looks like just a very simple thing. It'll give us a little bit of extra information about your demographics and so forth, give us a little more detail about your organization. But really the big vision here is that ultimately we're creating a community-wide database of our nonprofit sector, which does not exist. What if we could really someday have all the nonprofits, at least the active nonprofits in our community, in this database, whether they're a member or a non-member, and that we could begin running reports about who they are, where they are, what they're doing, who their leadership is, and begin to understand a little more about the landscape of our sector. So I just wanted to open by saying that, and to say that I really appreciate you caring enough even to come today, but you caring enough to fill it out and be receptive to it. And we hope that you will be an ambassador for us moving forward. And one of the next things we really want to make sure happens once we get this piece organized is that we start communicating in a bigger way with our members, letting them know that their board members are members, letting them know that the staff are members, because there's a plethora of resources that are available to everybody. And we're just going to build on that. So in the next few months, we're going to start rebuilding our website, and we're going to do some new creative branding types of things. So there's going to be a different feel to everything about CNPE as we sort of enter this bigger space of elevating the sector work, if you will. So anyway, that's all I'm going to say, and delighted to be here with you. Look forward to your questions. I'm going to turn it back over to Sarah, who's going to do this. You've got Merv up here in the corner also, who is here and always operates our technical stuff. He's our famous guy. He's everywhere. He's in every meeting I'm in. So I don't know, when I look up and he's not there, I kind of panic. But anyway.
He's your spirit animal.
Yeah. So Sarah, take it away.
Sure. Thanks, Ann. And then just as a quick side note, before we get started, I wanted to let you all know that we are recording this today, just simply so that we can share this out with other members who might enjoy a visual. So just want to be transparent about that. And it'll be a brief walkthrough, and we're going to leave times for questions. So whether you've tried to jump in and start doing this on your own, or if you were waiting to do any of this until you saw the visual of what it looked like, please feel free to know that we're happy to hang on the line with you in a group setting, or we can certainly set up time for a call one-on-one or a Zoom as well. So with that, I'm going to start to share my screen. And if you guys will just confirm that you can see where we're at. And is this large for you all? Large enough? Because this now has reformatted a little differently, it looks like for me, but can you all see a full screen? Yep. Okay. So first of all, I'm Sarah Stocker. I'm a Director of Community Engagement and Membership here at the Center for Nonprofit Excellence. So I'm going to be doing a little bit of driving today, walking you guys through visually what you're going to see. And then I will also be screen sharing as well with Darlene, who's going to take you to what a live form looks like as well. So this is just an intro to the email that you received to get yourself started. So give me just a moment, because for some reason, okay, there we go. So there's 3 things we're going to do today. One is just simply taking you through how to reset the password so that you can get moved over to our new database. The second step is helping you complete the My Profile. This is a new feature for our membership. We've never had anything like this. And again, this kind of goes back to what Ann had talked about as far as the way we're rethinking who makes up our sector and how do we look at that in a really aggregated way. So there'll be a My Profile section. And then the step 3 is the completing your sector profile. So for today's session, we're just going to be looking at the nonprofit profile, because that's probably what both of you were completing. but there is a different profile for each type of membership we have. So those are the 3 things we're going to be doing. So the first one of resetting your password, every member should have received an email from us. If you did not receive that email, please check your spam box because depending on how your email preferences are set up, that's something we don't have control over. But we did hear from some members it was sent to their spam. So it is legitimate. It's from us. Please go ahead and do that. If you did not receive it at all and it somehow got lost somewhere, please just go straight to our website. And we have put all of those instructions on there for you as well. So if you'd received it from the email, we would have given you a link. Again, you can access this from our homepage on our website. And that link will take you right to this first page, which says forgot your password. Really what you're doing is you're resetting your password because any previous credentials you had are no longer valid. So we're going to ask that you put in the email address right there and make sure that you're using the one that you received your notification from. So make sure you're putting in the one we have on file for you and submit that. Here's the lovely Darlene's email that you'll get, basically saying your username is going to be your email. So moving forward, that will become a standard best practice in our system. And then you'll be sent a token. Please cut, copy, and paste this token into the next page. Don't try to manually type it out because there's just all sorts of room for user error there. But you can click that link right there and that'll take you into this page to confirm your account. So your username, of course, is your email. You can paste that token number right in there and then hit the blue submit button. And it's as simple as that. Then pick your password as to what you would like to have. And then once you submit that, you'll see a green message right up there at the top that says, yes, this worked for you. It's been officially reset. And then we're going to ask that you go ahead and log back in. So again, your username will be your email address, whatever password you just chose, and then your blue login button. This takes you to your dashboard. You're officially inside the system right now. And then we're going to ask you to do step 2. But for right now, we're just going to hang out here on this page and stay logged in. And step 1 is complete. So, you know, that's just the basic of what we need every person to do in order for you to be able to interface with our website. Should you want to register for an upcoming course, if you want to post a job with us, anything that is a member benefit that you need to access by way of logging in. So make sure that you do that so that you can access things as quickly as possible. So step 1 is done and it should really take you two minutes maybe. Step 2 is going back to that My Profile. So this is, again, is the demographic information that we're asking to collect. This is 100% confidential information. None of this information is viewable by anybody at your organization, and neither can you see anybody else's information. So the only people that can see this information is yourself. You can change this information when you log in as things change in your life, and you might want to go update that information. And then only select people through CNPE can see this. And again, we're only going to be using this information in an aggregated sense to really just get a better understanding of who are the people that make up our sector. So back to that login screen where you were, you'll see the red arrows pointing to the My Profile. So if you just click there, this will take you to your profile, and I'm going to stop sharing here because Darlene is going to screen share with you, but you'll see this blue edit button, and that's where you're going to go to start the process. So give me just 1 second to stop, and Darlene will take us onto her screen, and you'll get a little bit more familiar with you know, the types of questions that we're going to ask. It's just going to be a live form. And we'll just kind of scroll through it slowly here. So your salutations at the top, obviously your first name, your last name. Some of this information might already be pre-populated for you. Whereas if there's blanks that are there, this is information that we did not have in our system currently, or this might be new information that we have recently added. So the department category, this will help us better understand kind of what role you tend to play within your organization. So if you could select that. We'd love to be able to keep up with our members as they transition through different jobs. So if you're on LinkedIn and would like to supply your URL, we'd appreciate that as well. And then of course, contact information, you know, pretty much your basic stuff, your email. If you'd like to give us an additional address for us to keep in touch with you, again, if you change jobs, we can help stay and keep you in the loop and stay in contact with you as well. Phone, this is all pretty basic information, which are primary address of the organization. And then down below is really the information that we're really looking to try and capture to better understand who makes up our sector so that we can see where are the holes and the opportunities and the gaps, who are we serving, who are we reaching, and more importantly, who are we not getting to. So I will quickly read this to you. I know it's not always fun to be read to you, but just to make sure that everybody captures this. So our mission is to support and elevate the work of our community's nonprofit. To achieve that mission, we must ensure that we are hearing voices from every corner of our nonprofit social impact sector, gaining insight from their wisdom and understanding their needs. So collecting personal data about our members will help us develop a deeper understanding of which voices we are hearing, and perhaps more importantly, as I said, which ones we are not. In the end, we hope that you will see this as an opportunity to be seen and heard. Your voice matters to us and it matters to our community. So rest assured, any reporting using this data will always be in an aggregate only and will not contain any personal identifiable information. We'll never share your personal information with anyone, including others in your organization or CNPE staff not directly responsible for maintaining this database. So that said, we're going to encourage you to please share any information within the questions here. And if you don't want to, please just leave it blank. There's nothing that prevents you from moving through this form if you choose not to share that information. We just want to make sure you all are clear about the confidentiality of the nature. So it starts with just asking the year that you were born. This helps us to understand transition as people, might be transitioning out of leadership, people transitioning into leadership, all those things that would revolve around that. The gender that you identify as, if you have a gender pronoun that you would like to attach as well. Do you consider yourself a member of the LGBTQ community? And then as well as the race, and then please to check all that apply. And if there's an additional race that was not included, we wanted to create space for that. And then right below that is the highest level of your education. And then you just want to hit that blue save button at the bottom, and that'll save all of your details. As I mentioned before, thank you, Darlene. You can stop and then I'll pick back up and then we'll go back to Darlene again. You can update this information at any time. So if 2 months from now something has changed and you have received an additional degree, you can certainly go back in and change that information. If your name changes, if there's any sort of anything that changes, feel free to go back in and edit that information at any time. Okay, so that was the My Profile that you just filled out. Once you do that, you're done. As far as step 2 is completed. And we really appreciate, again, any information that you're willing to share. If you're the administrator for your account, this is going to be important for you. Even if you're not the administrator, you might be the administrator one day. So this is important information to pay attention to. So there's still one more step to do if you are the admin for your account. And that's completing the sector profile. So again, as I mentioned, for today's purposes, we're going to look at the nonprofit form. All right, so we are back to step 3 for the sector profile. So taking you back to your dashboard, you'll see here the red button is desperately trying to point to the My Nonprofit Profile. So that's where you're going to click. Obviously, if you were a different type of member, a corporate or a foundation, it would simply say My Corporate Profile, My Foundation Profile. So you'll go ahead and click there, and that will get you into the form that you need. And my apologies, because I probably should have just let Darlene hang out here a little bit longer, but you'll land here for the nonprofit profile. Again, if you are the administrative contact, you will have this blue edit button. If you're not the administrative contact for your organization, you can certainly see all of the information that is populated in the site. I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing so Darlene can, and then finish this thought. You can certainly see that information, but you just will not have access to that blue button to edit and update the information. Only your admin can. And we, of course, have had people who said, I thought I was the admin, but I'm clearly not. I don't have a blue edit button. So we can certainly let you know who that person is in our system. And if that person is no longer with you, we can definitely help reassign that over to either yourself or the appropriate person on your team. So Darlene's got her screen back up again, and she is sharing what that profile looks like. Again, a lot of this information at the beginning is going to be populated for you, but perhaps you guys have had a change since we last had you in our database. So there might be an outdated street address, for example, if your organization has had a move. But this is pretty basic information at the top, things that you're used to giving us. And then, of course, some things like your website address, we want to be able to link that to our site so that as people go looking for your organization, they can get directly to you. Your executive contact and that title, generally that's your executive director, your CEO, the president, and then, of course, the administrative contact for the account. It can certainly be the same person in both places. So that's, but that administrative contact is that key one that's going to have access. And then again, into questions like, when does your fiscal year begin? Your mission statement. We're collecting information about the size of your organization as far as staff wise. So we would love to know any information there you can share, as well as your annual operating budget, the year you were established, your EIN number, of course, is a nonprofit. And then we have filled this area out a little bit more. So all of these options are through the IRS, what's called an NTEE code. So please select just your primary area of service there. And then we're going to give you an opportunity down below to give us some additional areas that you might be providing significant resources in those areas, but we ask that they're significant. But we know a lot of our organizations don't just do one thing and one thing alone. So you can select as many that apply, but just make sure that they are major components of the programming that you're offering. And then if there is a program that you're doing that doesn't fall into one of those categories above, we of course have space for that. And then we're interested about the major funding sources from this current fiscal year. Again, this is something that we're going to ask you to update each year, and this will give us some good information about how our organizations are typically funded. So again, you can check all that apply here. Right below that is to select all organizations that your organization is a member of. So we oftentimes will partner with other organizations in the community, and we'd love to know who else you might already be a member of. That gives us a better idea from a programming side of things as well. And then right below that is Lens of Health. So just quickly, I'll read that the Circle of Harmony and Health is a tool developed by the Christina Lee Brown Environment Institute, which promotes responsible decision-making through the lens of health. So the circles reveal the interrelationships among environmental and human health and the need to bring all forms of social and individual health into balance. So we're asking that you please select as many forms of health that best represent your organization's work and mission. And this is just an opportunity for you maybe to rethink about your organization and how it really does do more than just one thing. So please select all that apply. And then below that, we are asking again for demographic information around those leaders within your organization. So again, I won't reread this because it's the same information prior from the My Profile section as well, but we're curious about who your board chair is. And we're also looking to better understand gender identities as well as race of board leadership as well. We're curious about the additional board members as well. So how many board members you have in total, the number of board members who are Black, Indigenous, or people of color. You also hear that referred to sometimes as BIPOC. And board members who are female. So this helps us with some data and some reporting that we've done in the past to kind of see where some disconnects might be happening. We'd like to know how long your CEO and ED has been in their current role, as well as the gender identity of the CEO, as well as the race. Again, we always want to make sure that we include additional space for the race at the bottom. And then we're also wondering if you have a diversity, equity, and inclusion policy currently. If it's something that you're working on, you know, we hope so. But if it's not something that you have published and available to the public yet, just let us know. And then of course, hit that blue button, save at the bottom, and that's it. So that's just a quick way to go ahead and familiarize you all. And I'm sure Darlene's like, how do I stop sharing this again? So we're going to give her a minute. And then I'll take you back to a few more steps that we have for you around making sure that all of the individuals that are connected to your organization are included in your account. So something that people, I think, forget about sometimes, and I'm always telling people, membership extends to everybody within your organization. So that's all your staff, your board of directors, and we even say, please extend that to key essential volunteers, because we know a lot of organizations also heavily rely on their volunteers, who might as well be a paid staff member with as much work as that they do for your organization. So I'm just going to go right back to my screen quickly here and walk you all through. I'm assuming everybody can still see and we have a good view. So that was the nonprofit profile section that we finished up. And so one more thing, just to make sure that everybody, of course, is included, which I had mentioned, and we're going to make sure you know how to do that. So back to your dashboard. When you go up to the teal navigation bar, you'll see where it says organization members. If you click there, that will populate this page here, and you'll see anybody who we currently have connected to your account. If you see that somebody is missing, please just go ahead. It pretty much spells it out for you to add an individual to click there, and then we will contact that individual with the appropriate emails to get their login credentials set up so that they too can register and access member benefits. If you see somebody's name below that is no longer with the organization, then you just simply want to click on that person's name, and there'll be a box there for you to indicate that that person is no longer with the organization, and then they'll be removed from your account, and then we'll take it from there. So that's it. That's step 3, is just giving us all of that additional information for your account, so that we can get a better understanding of what the makeup is of our membership. And then, of course, we're here to support you. So if you have any questions or issues, please do not hesitate to reach out. Darlene, Whitney, or myself will be happy to walk you through any questions that you have. If there's tech issues, I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing. We've had, of course, a few tech things come up. Sometimes it's a user error. Sometimes it's just something as simple as your email settings, or flagging something from us and not letting it through. But we want to make sure that this is as smooth and as pain-free as possible for you all. So I'm going to pause there. If you have questions about anything that we went over, please let me know. Or if you have questions about why are you collecting, certain types of this information, if anything at all, this is the time and space that we want to hold for you all. So, well, I will go ahead and conclude this. We wanted to keep it short, and it's 1:30, so our email did not lie. We just want to take 30 minutes of your time. We, like I said, have recorded it, so we'll be sharing it out. So if you need to share it with other members of your staff or board, or reference back to it, it'll be available for you, and we'll get that out to you all shortly.